Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It is your boy Perry Walker, and today we're going to be making a boom bap beat using Splice samples. Now, if you've never checked out Splice, you are totally missing out because you could take a whole bunch of different samples, put them together to come up with whatever masterpiece you want them to through this little feature they call Stacks. Now, I remember back in the day, we had to sample things from records, so we didn't have stuff like this available. So I'm going to do less yapping, and we're just going to get right into this. Okay, as you can see, I bought up Splice already. Now, I've already kind of put this stack together, right? I didn't want to bore you with doing all of what I did. And sometimes it could be random because I like taking the approach of taking a beat that I find and just let the algorithm do its thing. Sometimes I search for some stuff, because the algorithm don't get it quite right. But anyhow, we're going to be working with, let me click on my stacks. We're going to be working with this bad boy right here, the Sometimes Never Generation. I don't come up with the names. I change them usually. And let's view the samples. Let me walk you through this. Now, some of these samples right here are samples from old school hip hop kits. Some of them have nothing to do with hip hop at all. And that's the beauty of it. Let me just play this whole thing. That's nasty. That's nasty. And you get the point, right? And I got some other stuff in here. I got some vocals and whatnot. Now, I happen to use Studio One 7, and they have this feature here. If you're an Ableton user, I'm not. I've never used it. You could export it through a stereo mix, original samples. You could download the samples. Now, I don't know if they're going to be synced and timed and given the right key, because as you could notice over here, you see that all of these have different key signatures, right? Well, depending on what your Splice stack spits out, you could be in a totally different key from these individuals. So Splice automatically tune the samples up to whatever key, right? And when you export it in these DAW features right there, the key will be exported. Or you could do individual stems if you don't have Studio One or Ableton Live. I happen to have Studio One, and it's doing its magic. All right. Now, to be fair, I've already, bought this up and kind of prearranged it a little bit. It's really not a lot to it. I have some bass, some things called blurps, slamming drums, whatever that is, and some other little drum perk type things, and some little, just a whole bunch of other stuff, right? And some vocals. The vocals are kind of has this eerie off. It's like it's not really on key. It kind of adds, I don't know, it's just some mystery to the beat, at least to me. Now, I've also put some animation on the front here. Let me show you. And what that is I bought in this whole montage slowly because, that's how I want it to come in. Add some little bit of drama to it. Okay, so let me stop yapping and let me just start playing this thing, okay? Here we go.
Thinking about the way it was. You got me begging and begging, begging and begging. I can't stop thinking about the way it was. You got me wishing and waiting, wishing and waiting on you.
Man, can you imagine Redman or Method Man going off on this thing? Woo, boy.
Thinking about the way it was.
Now, it's a plain Jane beat, and I did have some things here that I was thinking about putting into it. I have this SP1200 wannabe clone, and it has some stuff in it. Right? And I also have some scratches. Let me see. I think I go with the scratches. Let's see if I can get them timed in here correctly. Here, let's do it.
Thinking about the way it was. You got me begging and begging, begging and begging. I can't stop thinking about the way it was. You got me wishing and waiting, wishing and waiting on you.
Okay, let's go with some of that. Let me see. Let's start it over again. Hopefully I can get it on time, right? All right, here we go.
Thinking about the way it was. You got me begging and begging, begging and begging. I can't stop thinking about the way it was. You got me wishing and waiting, wishing and waiting on you. Thinking about the way it was. You got me begging and begging.
Okay, let's look at the timing of those. Let me see. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sharing two screens, and I'm still relatively new to Mac. Mac is kind of, the Mac OS is kind of weird to me. Let me see. What do we have here? Let's play this from the beginning. Let's check out any timing issues. I just don't want to blanket. Let's see here.
The way it was. You got me begging and begging, begging and begging. I can't stop thinking about the way it was. You got me wishing and waiting, wishing and waiting on you.
Okay, maybe let me spread this out. Maybe that one can be turned down some. All right, you gotta love it. Okay, I probably kind of want that one to be up some.
Turning back.
All right. And the timing is pretty good, I think. Here, let's listen to that whole thing. And let's put that back in. Okay, let me get rid of edit. All right. So let's listen to that whole thing. Okay, let's start from the beginning. From the beginning, guys. From the beginning. Take it to the top.
Thinking about the way it was. You got me begging and begging, begging
Okay, guys, there you have it. That's making your boom bap beats with Splice samples. Now, I'm not sponsored by Splice. I'm just an old cat who finds Splice absolutely fascinating. I'm sure that Arcade is the same way because I heard some good things about it. But if any of you guys remember back in the days how difficult it was to find something off these records that was useful, having to process it, and also some people had to face some pretty steep lawsuits for using samples and stuff like that. And not everyone was as good as a sampler as Jay Dilla, RZA, or even Q-Tip. You know, I was okay. I wasn't like those cats. So having something like this at my fingertips where I have to do very little to prep the samples. Actually, I don't even have to prep them. They already come processed pretty much. I just have to balance them out and whatnot and add my little whatevers into it with whatever instruments I want to use. Now I'm going to produce this out and do some other stuff with it, but not too much because less is still more because you got to make room for the vocal unless you're making some type of cinematic soundtrack. But anyhow, let me know what you feel about that. Leave a comment. And if you dig these type of videos, give me a thumbs up and feel free to watch any of those videos up there in the corner. And you can take it a step further by subscribing to my channel, helping the brother out. We can just chop it up over this producing stuff and any other thing about music. Like I said, I have an emphasis on Christian hip hop. I love it. So until the next time, I will see you on the next one. Peace.